Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure of the Common Game. Today in deck number 477, we are going to talk about Rayami, First of the Fallen. Now, I know we just come off of a whole bunch of unboxing videos for Throne of Eldraine, but I had this one deck built and already listed and numbered at 477, so let's go ahead and get this one out of the way, and then we'll start in hardcore with some Eldraine. Now, I've got two decks already done from Eldraine, so I'll do those, and then we'll see how the unboxing of the what are those? The Brawl decks. So let's talk about Rayami here. Rayami, 4 mana, 5/4. Okay. If a non-token creature would die, exile it with a blood counter on it instead. Now, as long as an that's any creature, yours, theirs, anybody's. As long as an exiled creature card with a blood counter on it has flying, Rayami has flying. The same is true for first strike, double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, protection, reach, trample, and vigilance. That is awesome. What is that? All the currently supported keyword abilities? I don't know, but it's a bunch. So there are a couple that it's a very simple deck. I just laid it out by category, and there's not a lot. First, we will look at our creatures that have abilities. I tried to do more than one ability, but, you know. Tide Hollow Strix. This is going to give us Flying and Death Touch. Now, these are all decent creatures in their own right, don't get me wrong, but the idea is when they die, then, you know, all creatures at some point in time are going to die. We put the blood counter on them, and now Rayami's got these abilities. So this batch of creatures is the creatures that have abilities to pretty much die and give to Rayami. Gurmag Swiftwing, flying, first strike, and haste on a 2-mana body, so that's not bad. Gifted Aetherborn has death touch and lifelink. Vault Scourge, flying and lifelink. Black Knight, first strike and protection. Now, the Vampire Hexmage just has first strike, but that second ability there I couldn't ignore because, I mean, it kills target Planeswalker or most Hydras or whatever, you know. Slippery Bottle just has hexproof. Now, granted, it's old spelled out hexproof, but Oracle text, you know, it's hexproof now. And that's it, but, you know, that's pretty good, especially for a 1-drop. The Acid Spewer Dragon is flying and death touch. Now, obviously, living the dream here is death touch, trample, first strike. That's what we really want, because trample touch is awesome, but first trample touch is awesomer. I don't know. Banehound, lifelink and haste. Dread. Dread should not be in this category. It should be in the other category. Anyway, it's in there, so we'll cover it. Fear is not one of the supported words, obviously, but it does, you know, if a creature hits you, it dies. So more than likely our opponents are also going to be playing with, you know, good creatures with abilities on them as well. So Enraged Forerunners, Vigilance, Trample, Haste. What's up? Haunt of Hightower, flying and lifelink. Spirit of the Night, check this out, flying, trample, protection. Now, granted, the first strike doesn't happen because and it also has haste. The first strike you don't get because it only has first strike when it's attacking, and when it's, you know, chilling in exile with that blood counter, it ain't attacking. Soul of the Rapids, flying and hexproof. Acidic Slime just has death touch, but it's also a great removal. Sagu Mauler, trample and hexproof. Nightveil Predator, flying and death touch, and hexproof. What? Yeah, I really like the hexproof idea, I guess you could tell. Flying and Trample for the Spawn of Mayhem. Pestilent Spirit, Menace, and Death Touch. Now that, yeah, that second line there might as well not even be there. Knight of Malice, First Strike and Protection. And a Vampire Nighthawk, of course, Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. So those are what our creatures are going to contribute to the mix. So let's look at ramp here real quick, or color fixing ramp. We are in 3 colors, so but upside is, one of those colors is green. So we've got our Rampant Growth, Cultivate, Nissa's Pilgrimage, Untaming Wilds, and Frontier Guide. Like the Frontier Guide. Now, granted, it's it doesn't have any abilities on it to take advantage of, but that land fetching is not bad at all. Oh, check this mana guy out. It's mana fixing, and it has Death Touch and Lifelink. Oh, sweet. Of course, the Mana Geode, the Darksteel Ingot, Sultai Banner. Running a Moss Diamond simply because it is a 2-mana mana rock, and you know what? Not many decks I have, out of all the diamonds from the 2 printings that they've had, 3 printings they've had, I have a bunch of the green ones left because, typically we don't use the green ones because we'll just use the Line of Elf or Rampant Growth or something like that, but I figured why not. And then I'm going to count this for mana, but it's card draw and mana double. It's not bad. But it does kind of lead us into card draw, which there's not a whole lot of. Of course, I have the basic Sign in Blood, Divination. I know Divination's not a great card, but you know what? Y'all know why it's in here, right? It's me. It's shiny. I know. I'm horrible. But Death Touch Ritual, or Death Reap Ritual, Death Touch Ritual, that Morbid ability is probably going to trigger a lot. You want to see why? Okay. Let's get to removal. Now, I've got all the different kinds of removal, so I guess we'll start with, I don't know, what, spell removal? Because the idea here is, now, I didn't run a Dingus Staff because our commander exiles them, so they never actually hit the yard, so the staff doesn't really work in that case. Yeah, we're not going to have our commander out at all times, but let's face it, that's the intention. So we got a Doomblade, Terror, Squall. I kind of like Squall. Yeah, I know that there's a there's a 4 damage one that I can't call them name to mind right now, but Casualties of War. This thing is just, yeah. Ritual of Soot, destroy all little creatures. Putrefy, Murder, Consuming Vapors. How many times you see Polymorph? It is a blue card that says destroy target creature. Now this is maybe, we may aim it at ours if we can trade a 1-drop for something better. Mire and Misery. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or an enchantment. Most of the time, they're going to sacrifice a creature if they have the option. Now, granted, what they're sacrificing is probably their worst creature, probably a token, but, we got to get those out of the way, right? Tragic Slip is, in this deck, just about always going to be the 13/13. Walk the Plank is, pretty good. I like how it says non-merfolk creature, so you can make a shark walk the plank, or an octopus, or an angel, something that flies. It's kind of cool. Right? Sultai Charm is not bad. Destroy a monocolor creature, or an artifact or enchantment, or, draw some cards. It's pretty neat. Now, creature removal. Royal Assassin. Man, nothing. If you've never played with or against a Royal Assassin, I know I'm talking about a card that was from Alpha, but it's been around the entire existence of the game. Obviously, this one's 4th edition. It's not an Alpha one, but it's been around forever. But if it really has an impact on the board as to, because when you declare attackers, as soon as you declare them, they're tapped, and then the roll assassin is like pop. So it's pretty good. I still like it. You know, it's good, repeatable removal. So is Visara. Just, I mean, boom. And, you know, she's got the upside. She has flying. She's a flying 5/5. So in the event there's nothing you want to kill, you can beat in for 5. We have Vraska is now -3 is, of course, destroy non-land permanent. That includes a creature. But we also got the cool assassins. Ooh, let's get those up because they're glaring. Archfiend of Depravity. You know, they choose 2 creatures and sack the rest. Now, that's just each opponent, so we don't have to do that. Then, of course, we have stuff like the Necrotal, Ravenous Chupacabra, Merciless Executioner, and Blood Raina. I swear to you, this is Blood Raina. The people that know what I'm talking about are probably dying laughing right now, but if you watch the 100, this is literally Blood Raina. I swear. Now we got our, we're going to call the other kinds of removal, you know, there's the Eldest Reborn. Got a Meteor Golem, you know, target permanent, or non-land permanent, a Naturalize, a Negate, a Dissipate, and an Echoing Truth. I like the Echoing Truth, just sheer for, you know, tokens and whatnot. And now it looks like, what is it, once a year or once every other year, they're doing something with, hey, you can have any number. Now, granted, Eldraine is not any number, it's 7. The 7 dwarves you can have 7 of in your deck, which is really weird. It's the only one that's actually set a number. So if you manage to somehow draft, like, you know, 10, you can still only play 7 in draft, which is kind of the first card that's ever done that. And our last non-land card, I'll be honest with you, is Simic Ascendancy. It has no flavor tie to the deck, no functional tie to the deck whatsoever, but it is an alt-win condition. I mean, it really is. It does pass out counters. I guess it does kind of tie in. Rayami is going to have all these abilities, but still going to be a 5/4, right? So if we can, we have to kind of look at this being a commander helper. You know, this is going to buff our commander, because there's no conceivable way that we're going to have 21/1 counters out there for the alt win. So we've got to, I mean, you can justify it as a win condition in a +1/+1 counters matters deck, you know, Hydras or any Simic deck, because they all tinker with counters in some way. But here we've just, I needed something, a recurable way to pump the commander. So that's why I chose Simic Ascendancy. And you know what? Hey, it might get there. Might get there. So let's look at some lands. We're going to roll through these lands rather swiftly. Jungle Hollow, Foul Orchard, Yavimaya Coast, Woodland Stream, Sky Shroud Forest. I love these. They're all cheap. They're like under $1. I think they're even on the reserve list. I don't know. But I love, yeah, they're pretty. I mean, it's got both downsides. They come into play tapped and they deal a damage to you. But if you need another enemy duel, because there's only 5 of them, they're only enemy colors, it's something to think about. The Guildgate, Rot Farm, another Guildgate, Terramorphic Expanse, the appropriate 3-color land, Exotic Orchard, gosh, I love Exotic Orchard, Frost Marsh, Evolving Wilds, Rogue's Passage to make your commander unblockable, because evidently, I mean, that's what we're doing. Dismal Backwater, Submerged Boneyard, The Refuge, Darkwater Catacombs. I was glad they reprinted these. Transguild Promenade, and the Dimir Guildgate. And that is what we've got for Rayami. It's not bad. Oh, came out in one try that time. That's cool. Then, of course, we've got our, random basics in there. Had a question about I don't remember. It was in the comments on one of the videos on how many basics to run. Uh, that is personal preference. I honestly, in like 3-color decks or more, I will I'll run the 2-color lands that I have, and then I'll fill the rest up with basics based on the breakout of the colors in the deck. Technically, there's a fraction, like if you're building sealed decks or whatever, or any deck, there is a fraction of, because let's face it, it's a math game, right? So the however many slots you allot for your land is totally up to you. I mean, certain decks need more, certain decks need less, but the ratio, imagine it as a fraction. Like, say, the Rayami's 3 colors, and you've got, what is that, black, green, and blue. So you count up all of the symbols, all of the mana cost symbols in your deck, and that's the bottom of your fraction. And then you count up all the black ones, and that's the top. So your black is, you've got 32 out of 59 black mana symbols, and that's your percentage of lands that you need to be able to produce black, in theory. Now, where the math gets wonky there is 2 and 3 color and any color lands. Obviously, they make it better, and you can count that, any color land, that City of Brass or whatever, as all 3. It does produce black, it does produce green, and whatever, but I tend to skew, like decks with green, I tend to skew a little more toward in the basic side for forest, just because if we're running green in multicolor, we're running land search to try to fix it. So that's why I do that. But I don't know. It's just had a question about land bases, so that's what I thought I'd do. So let's turn this up here, and we will roll over and put Rayami. Evidently, I'm playing with 476. I'm like, yeah. Oh, it's over in there. Yeah. I took it to go play with, and I don't remember. I don't remember if I played it or not. No, because we had that. I was playing Rasputin. We had a really, really good game Friday. It was a lot of, it was long, but it was a lot of play and counterplay. It was awesome. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching, and I think now we're going to be on that Eldraine train. So head out to your local game store and get your Eldraine if you want it. But right now, I think we're going to shuffle and cut.